Hello, everyone. What I want to talk about this week is harnesses. Now, when you go out in the field and you're going to be using your camera or wherever you go, you're going to need to have some way to hold it other than in your hands the entire time. Now, we all know that a lot of cameras, at least used to, come with a camera strap, right? It's usually branded. They used to be very, very thin. They've made them a little wider now. There's a few problems with it. If you're just going to do, you're going to be out for a couple of minutes to take a couple of shots or something, it might be okay. But here's the problem. The camera itself, at least the new mirror ones, are very light, right? The older cameras were much heavier. These are much lighter, but glass is still glass. It's still heavy. So even though the camera may have lost an ounce or so, the lens hasn't. And the bigger the lens, the more glass it's got in it, the heavier it's going to be. When you put that strap around your neck, you're concentrating the weight of it in that narrow band around your neck. And if you happen to be walking and look down, well, the camera's moving with you. So when you pull your head back up, you're not only lifting with your neck the weight of your head, but the weight of your camera as well. Now, you could get beyond that by holding the camera in your hand. But again, what's the point of having the strap if you're going to hold the camera in your hand the entire time? So that leads you to a couple of other options. Now, we talked about, at some point, having two cameras so that you don't have to swap lenses, right? You're out and you're shooting something fast moving, like an event. And you are in and out of distance from that event. And because of that, you want to have two cameras. Or you want to use two lenses. But if you have two cameras, you can just switch from one camera to the next and take your photograph and not have to worry about changing your lens in the field. I've done that by just getting a good zoom lens. I got past the need to have two lenses most of the time. That doesn't mean that I don't carry a second lens with me. I have I think she's a 28-80 that I use quite a bit. But I also have it's not, I wouldn't call it professional glass. Now, the difference between professional glass and non-professional glass is how your F changes. A lot of professional glass, you get a 2.8. It's a 2.8 regardless of what your zoom is set to. So, for example, if you got a 28-80 and it's a 2.8, it's a 2.8 is available across the entire spectrum. My 100 to 400 is not. It goes out to 5.6. So again, it means that I have to keep an eye on my depth of field. I don't get quite the bokeh that I want in some instances, but the lens is a little lighter and it's obviously less expensive. Eventually, I'll probably get my own, get a more professional 100 to 400, and it'll require a new way to carry it. Right now, both lenses will fit into a little case that I have that goes over one shoulder, and I can just drop the lens in there, and I can carry it around with me. Makes it easy for me to change. But getting back to the harness I've got on the other side, which is under the lens case, and that's so I can move the case around a little bit more easily. It goes over one shoulder instead of going around the neck. And it sits the camera, I'm right-handed, on my right hip. That means when I'm moving from place to place, I can just put my hand on the camera, not lifting the weight. I'm just holding it so that I can make sure that I can get from place to place quickly, or I can just swing it up and hold it by the lens, right? So I'm not holding the body and having the weight of the lens bouncing up and down. So that's one way that you can handle it. Another way, especially if you've got the two cameras, they make a harness that goes both sides. Now, this is more of a harness than the strap that I just talked about, because this goes over both shoulders. It clicks in the front. It's like having a backpack on your back, but you got the two points that you can put your cameras on, and they're loops so you can slide it up and down. You can use this if you're just using one camera and you want to put your lens on the other side. Now, my lens bag is good for what I do, and I don't need that. But as I just said, if I go for a more professional glass, right? If I want a nice 2.8 that'll do like 100 to 400, for example, that's going to be bigger. It's going to be heavier. And I might go back to using the double strap and adapt that second side to handle my lens. So then when I'm going from place to place, I just put my hands on both sides, one to hold the lens in place and one to hold the camera, and I can quickly jog from place to place if I need to keep up with the action. But that has that harness balances the weight a little bit better. So does the strap that goes over the shoulder as opposed to going over the neck. You don't want something heavy around your neck if you're going to be out for a while. First of all, it could start to cause you to slouch forward, which is not good for your back. You're going to put a bend in your back, which is a bad idea. You've got that extra weight when you're lifting your neck up and down. If you've got the weight of the camera on it, that's not good for your neck. You're going to add more strain, and it's going to mean that you can be out less, right? And it'll be a progressive thing where you're actually doing damage to yourself every time you do that. But by having the strap that goes over your shoulder and hangs the camera off to the side, or having the double, right? That's going to allow you to easily carry your equipment and go from point to point. Other option, you can get a backpack that's kind of like a sling pack. The way those work is you keep your camera or your lens in there, or both, and it slides around the side so that you can pull your camera out. So instead of having the camera out and exposed, the camera's in this backpack type object that goes over it can strap onto your back like a backpack does, but has a way to quick release and sling it around so that you can pop it open, take your camera out, or take your lens out and swap your lens. I've tried a couple of those. Personally, I'm not a fan. I'll carry my stuff to where I need to use it in the backpack, but then I typically take it out and I just slap everything onto my small bag that I've got to keep the lens in and put it on the harness and just go that way. It's a big personal preference, and a lot of it's going to depend on where you're shooting and what you're shooting. If you're going to be in a high moisture environment, for example, you might want to have something that you can just put the camera in so that the camera isn't exposed all the time. It's also things you can put around the camera to protect your camera as well. But that's for another time. The important thing is having a way to carry your camera easily that does not cause any injury to yourself or any discomfort to yourself, that you can carry for hours and hours without causing a problem, and what works best for you. Now, that probably is going to mean that you have to go someplace and try this stuff out. B&H down in New York City has a site. You could go down there, and I'm sure not only would they happily show you all the stuff that they've got, they'd let you try it out. Other small camera shops may do the same. Don't see why they wouldn't, but their inventory might be less than someplace bigger like B&H. But check around the area, see what you can find. The other option is to go get things off of a place like Amazon, but check their return policies, right? If you get it and you really don't like it and you go to return it, can you, or is there going to be a restocking fee, which a lot of places rightfully charge? right? You sending something back to them that they have to then process to put in a condition that it can be sold again. And they might have to put it up now as a discount because it was used. So having a restocking fee makes sense, but just check what your wherever you're going to go and buy this stuff from, see what their return policy is and what their restocking fees looks like. Again, the best thing you can do is get something and try it. I don't believe there's any place that you can rent this type of stuff. I could be wrong. When I'm at lens rentals and things, I don't usually look beyond about the lenses and the cameras. They do have some accessories there, so you might be able to find something that way that you can rent for a while and try it out, see what you think before you buy it. Again, this is something that you're going to be using. You have to be comfortable with it. And you probably don't want to have to keep swapping it. Now, the straps, the harnesses that I talked about are usually not that expensive. They can go up into the hundreds and $200, depending on what it's made out of. I think they even have ones that are tooled leather. But again, what's going to work best for you? If you think one of these harnesses is going to work and you're not sure and you need to buy it, buy an inexpensive one that will let you get a feel for what it's going to be like, right? Make sure that your camera's connected, obviously, so that just in case something goes wrong with a connector on it, that the camera's not going to fall. But you can get something in the $30 to $40 range and try it out. And then if you really like it and you think you would look more professional with one of the other options that are out there, then at least you know what type of design works best for you. Those sling bags, they can go up quite a bit in price as well. And they don't start as cheaply as these harnesses do. But again, you want to be able to get it, you want to try it, you want to see what works best for you and go from there. So that's what I got for you for stuff for this week. Last week we talked about tripods and monopods. Next week we'll talk about some of the other gear that you might want to have with you if you're going to go do an outdoor event, especially if you're going to be out for hours at a time. That's what I got for you guys this week, and I will talk to you all next week.